And we are officially live, broadcasting only on onedealaway.com. This is Money Matters. My name is Nav, and today we're going to be taking a look a little bit into the news. Out of Market Watch that basically says that the enormous stock market bubble has already popped. And we're actually going to take a look at what does that mean. What are they talking about? We're going to be looking at the best stocks that folks have shorted and of course the money that they have made. So we're going to be talking about those five stocks that folks have made a ton of money shorting, and allegedly there's still room for you to be able to participate and do that. Of course, we're going to take a look into the market, and then we're going to switch across the pond, so to speak, into the digital assets, because there are movements. I wanted to do it in this way where you can see sort of the challenges and struggle of one, which is what I keep saying, that's the dying one. And then you switch over to the other one where there's all these things that are innovating and moving and shaking and growing and building, and that's the one that is actually coming to life. And I wanted to do this sort of story of two cities, if you would, in one show, so that you can really see even the news, how they report one versus the other, and what the world looks like for real in this economy. Let's do this. And good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, October 28th to you. I hope you're doing excellent today, and I wish you a super fun, exciting, profitable, and happy Wednesday. All right, so let's get started with the news. We're going to go from a dark side of the things, switch over to the light side of the things, give you hope for the day. So let's do that. What's going on? Well, a lot of people out there are like fighting of like, oh, Trump is going to save the day. No, 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 no. Biden is going to save it. No, 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 no. Trump is going to save it. No, 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 Biden. And, what we're saying is it doesn't really matter who gets elected. The challenge, the ginormous economic challenge is here, is not going anywhere. And whomever steps into that office will have to deal with all of that stuff. We just don't know how exactly they will deal with it. So that's what this is. And I wanted to share with you what's going on right now with the reporting. They're reporting about a half of the 22 million who lost their jobs during the pandemic are still out of the work, and new hiring is slowing. I know on the mainstream media they tell you that it's up and running, but it's simply not so. And of course, we also know that you had Congress, and the Trump administration, they're going back and forth trying to negotiate on this, new stimulus bill thing, and it's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. And I've been saying since last one that we did, they're gonna need to roll out. They're gonna need to roll out way more. They're just going to be late. So if you want to watch me saying that at that time, it's on the YouTube channel. Which, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, welcome. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe, hit the bell button. If you could do me a giant favor and just get that little thumb up thing, like, hey, this guy is cool. If nothing else, if I'm not cool, at least you can tell that I am delivering pretty darn accurate information over time. So do me a huge favor and smash the like. And of course, if you're watching this live on onedealaway.com, then hey, hit me up, sign in, and remember, we're going to do a Q&A at the end of the show, as always. But one of the things that I've been saying is that they're never going to pass it. And everybody's like, no, 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 it's going to happen. And then, of course, it didn't happen in July, August, September. Here we are, end of October. They can't pass it anymore because, elections have started. So what is left? Well, what is left is for us to sit and wait and see what in the world happens with the election, and then we'll see. Because will we know on the third? Maybe, maybe not. Will we know on the fourth? Maybe, maybe not. Will we know on the 14th? Maybe, maybe not. Will it be February by the time we know? Who knows? Anything is possible. Look, anything is possible. I think we're going to probably witness one of the craziest elections out there. That's just me. And my hope and pray is that it's not violent. That's it. That's it. That's that's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. All right. But what's happening is that we've had all of those direct cash payments, and at the time I was even speaking about the fact that a lot of people were making more money not working than working, which was problematic, right? So they went a little bit bananas without paying attention and thinking about it, right? Because it was COVID and you just gotta act. So then they just went bananas, right? And then they gave everybody $600 regardless of what was going on. And so people were making way more money not working than working, so that even when some of the areas were trying to open up, people were like, bunk this, man. I'm not coming to work because I make more not working than showing up for your sorry behind. So they stopped showing up to work, right? So there was a problem right over there. Well, then, somebody somewhere realized and was like, oh, wait, they're getting more money now than they were before. Never mind, cut it off. And so they went from going insane on one hand of things to the insane on the other end of things, where now you have all of these people that are making like $200 a week. And while $200 a week of like just random money showing up, above and beyond of what you expect is kind of cool. You're like, all right, I can deal with this. $200 a week is really not much. A month has what, 4 weeks? 800 bucks. 800 bucks is what you get. You gotta eat, right? You got bills to pay. You gotta pay for your, mortgage or rent, your car, your gas, of how the insurances, the kids' school, the kids are growing, so you gotta buy them new shoes. Like, so you can't basically live off of 800 bucks a month. Like rent alone is good luck finding something like that. And sure, you potentially could. It's going to be a neighborhood that you're going to fear for your life, potentially, right? Uh, Possibly infested with who knows what, and what kind of rodents. So this is what's going on right now. And of course, when they were getting way more money, they were of course spending it, and they were able to save and pay off their bills and like go out there and buy stuff. And when all of that ended, that's when we're seeing a lot of the problems kind of coming in. We have this particular individual who's 46 saying that, hey, when I got furloughed, I was saving about a third of everything, which was good because everything then cut off at 275 a week, and it's like I have a part-time job now because that's all I can find, but I'm working for half a salary and my expenses are still up, so I don't know how things are going to make it. Then we had a director of Hamilton Project talking about the fact, quote, we are trying to shovel ourselves out of the hole, but at the same time the hole is getting bigger and, may I add, deeper. And I get it. It's incredibly stressful. It's incredibly frustrating, and it's one of those things where you're just like exhausted that there's no way out whatsoever. And we're seeing that more than 420,000 small businesses shuttered between March and midsummer, which is more than 3 times the typical pace. Permanent layoffs are also on the rise. And here we have another report from folks of saying, hey, used to oversee 5 restaurants in Orlando resorts and stuff, and yeah, it was great, but they went away, right? And now I'm applying for all kinds of jobs in supermarkets and health and all of that stuff. Nothing is turning out. And he's like, I can do whatever you want me to do. Like, I'll do it. I don't care. I just don't want to be homeless. I will go out there and I will do it. But he's struggling to basically, get a job. And of course, the limited amount of money that he's getting is, you can't buy food and pay utilities and everything else on $275 a week unemployment. And he's been reaching out to groups saying, hey, I need help, and everything is turning out to be very, very hopeless. And this is, these are the stories that I fear a lot of people are faced with and dealing with day in and day out, some of which you would never even know. The United States has 2.4 million and growing long-term unemployed, officially defined as those who have been out of work for 27 weeks or more. The U.S. Commerce Department is expected to report that gross domestic product surged in the third quarter thanks in part to fiscal stimulus. Now, people who are out of work in low wages jobs need rental support, direct payment, and food assistance, as well as federal job protection and retraining program. And I agree. We need to help individuals and groups of individuals in multiple ways. One of the ways is, of course, you know, retraining, retraining and helping people out. Let's get people on their feet, not on their street, right? Yes, I'm not saying like, hey, just let people live for free in rentals and stuff, because that landlord also has to pay the bill. Like, it's a trickle down. So you've been printing all this money, you didn't even care where the hell it was coming from. Pardon my French, but like I get very heated about the whole thing. That all of a sudden, we can't do it. You've been doing it for months, for years, helping folks out. Let's go. This is the time where you should be doing it. This is the time. Either that or just let everything fail. But don't be going out there saying we have money to support the big business because it's a big business and everybody knows its name. But we don't have money to support Jimmy down the street. Meanwhile, that big business is basically a zombie who is just sucking the money out of the whole thing, and it's never going to make it. And, Jimmy down the street could use a little bit of money to help him out. Let's say, $1,000 a month to kind of like get him boosted, or 2,000 or whatever, ends up being 1,200. Make it, I don't care what you make it, to help him get boosted back on his feet. Let's get him to train, and boom, let him go out there into the job or create a job. That's what I'm saying. So, well, what are the presidents going to do? And I'm saying presidents because we don't know which one, right? If elected, Biden has pledged. Now, keep in mind, they all pledge stuff before they get elected. And then once they get elected, who the hey knows what we're going to get. Same goes for Trumpster as the Sleepy Joe. So, if elected, Biden has pledged to raise the federal minimum wage and roll out trillions of dollars in infrastructure and green energy programs, but he'll need vote in Congress to do it. Well, I do like the fact of like, all right, let's put out money into infrastructure because Lord knows United States needs it, super big. The green energy program, that one I have mixed bag of feelings about. On one hand, I think it's kind of cool. On the other hand, it's not. It's called green energy, but it's not really green. I don't know. There's some problems over there as well. But at least we're like, all right, let's do something. I do like the idea of, retraining folks, right? That would be my, thing that I would like to do, but neither one of them is talking about it. And then raising the federal minimum wage does absolutely nothing. I don't know how and why people cannot connect the dots. Let me break it down to you. See that maybe just you can get it. Raising minimum wage sounds lovely if you're a recipient of a minimum wage. It sounds beautiful. It gets you the votes. It gets people chanting your name in the street. Yeah. The problem is that when you raise a federal minimum wage, the money doesn't come from the federal government. It comes from the business. The businesses themselves are struggling. And what we see every single time, every single business owner that I talk to, whenever this happens, they, yes, have to raise the minimum wage for those that are there. Then they have to raise prices for the customers. And then, if still the math doesn't work out, they still have to lay off some folks. So, consistently just raising minimum wage and not paying attention to what that actually means and doesn't do anything. I don't know how else to put it. I know I'm heartless when I say it, but it's the absolute truth. That where does the money come from? It comes from that business. Most of the businesses, not all, but most of the businesses, their margin is not in hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's very, very minutia. So when that happens over there, they got to pass it on. So your minimum wage goes up by, say, 10 cents. Well, guess what? Your expenses go up by $10. That is where the problem is, and nobody, for whatever reason, is connecting the dots. I mean, I just don't get it. And when I say nobody, I don't mean like nobody in the world. There are plenty of people out there that understand this and talk about it. it's for whatever reason the people going out in to vote, the people that propose it, nobody's connecting those dots and explaining this to people that says, wait a minute, time out. Yes, I know it's called federal minimum wage, but it doesn't come out of federal government. They don't pay it. Okay. um, so then Trump, on the other hand, said, oh, he wants to put in more federal stimulus, but no, no specifics on the job or anything else. So Trump sort of has, just looking for a way to get elected, which may or may not happen. Who the hey knows? I got nothing. I got nothing. And until help arrives, well, people are going to suffer. And that is the truth. Now, I did promise that as we keep on going towards the show, it's going to get better and better, more exciting news. So, this one, not as sucky as the first one, but not hot either. An enormous stock market has already bubbled up and toppled off, and it's gone. It's going away. The top is in for the US stock market after an enormous bubble in technology stock popped last month. Greenlight Capital founder David Einhorn warned in a letter dated October 27 to investors. And today is October 28th, so we are right there with them. We're getting this first-hand thing. So, hey, if you're liking this kind of stuff and you're learning something important here, smash the like button, tell others about it. It really will help me out. So, thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. Einhorn acknowledged that Greenlight had prematurely identified the bubble in 2016, warming one he put down in part to the notion that the height of the 1999-2000 bubble was once in a career experience and that the investors wouldn't repeat that level of insanity. Clearly, we were mistaken. Absolutely, were mistaken. Bubbles, meanwhile, tend to topple under their own weight as all investors finally hop in, short sellers cover, and last buyer bought or is buying massive amounts of weekly calls. Everybody's going out there and buying. The decline starts and the psychology shifts from greed to complacency to worry to panic, right? So you go from greed to complacency, like, all right, like, this is good, to worry, you're like, oh man, I wonder what if I better, to panic, OMG, I gotta go. So that's what happens. Now, here are the 10 signs that backed up his bubble call. So, here we go. Let's see how many of these you can check off on your end. IPO mania, extraordinary valuations and new metrics for valuations, a huge market concentration in a single sector or a few stocks, second tier of stocks that most people haven't heard of at the S&P 500 type market capitalization, right? So you never heard of them, but that's where they're capped. More fanciful and distant the narrative, it seems the better the stock performs, right? So it's not really like, hey, we made this money and the stuff. No, 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 no. It's like, hey, did you know that the CEO's brother-in-law just bought a pot-bellied pig? And people were like, yes, buy the stock. This is very bullish. You're like, what? How is that even related? But we see it. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. Outperformance of companies suspected of fraud. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of that. Outsized reaction to economically irrelevant stock splits. Check. Increased participation of retail investors who appear focused on the best performing names. Robinhood. Incredible trading volumes in speculative instruments like weekly call options and worthless common stock. CNET. And a parabolic ascent towards a top. If the call is, Einhorn said that if the call is correct, investor sentiment is shifting from greed to complacency. So, where we are in the stages, we're in the stage 2 of the whole thing, right? Not in the stage 2 of the pandemic crash kind of stuff. Don't confuse that. We are in stage 3.5 right now on that one, right? The first one was we were at the top and stuff. Then we did the dip thing. Then we went on up thing. Now we're going this way, so we're at 3.5. We're about to hit the fourth one, and that's the kaboom stage. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But this is kind of where I see it, and it's aligning with what Einhorn is saying over here. So remember, in his theory or his what he was sharing, I don't know if it's theory. You go from greed, which is basically like buy, 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 to complacency or like I'm good, this is cool, everything is fine, don't touch anything. Next one is going to be worry. So when we start seeing worry about things, people are like, they're starting to question things. They're like, should I not, am I not, in, out, I'm not quite sure. And then panic is what makes everything just go right. So that's what you should be looking for and paying attention to. Now, I did promise that we're going to cover the short selling stocks that have been performing really, really, really well. Meaning performed well for the short sellers, not performed well as a performed well in a stock. So here we go. We are looking of what's going on, and here's our little chart over here. You already can probably guess which of the stocks we are talking about. And as you can see, we are having the S&P 500 index, right? So we're going down, and it's kind of come up, and now we're sitting above above zero, right? 0%. So didn't lose anything, slightly up, that kind of stuff. And then you have these over here stocks that are basically not doing well. So what are they? Well, oil giant ExxonMobil, code is XOM, right? So you can see it right over here, and you can see the blue line. Although there's the two blue ones, and they look same color blue to me. So I don't know. I don't know how you tell them apart, y'all. I don't know how you do that. So I got nothing there. Let's see. So oil giant ExxonMobil, which has delivered mark-to-market profit of $1.7 billion so far this year for short sellers. Rising crude inventories and dropping oil prices have been a gift to short sellers as the stock has lost more than half its value so far. AT&T stock symbol is T, just letter T. The telecom company, which has been bogged down with a hefty debt load, job cuts, asset sales, and disappointing numbers for its pay TV platforms. Wells Fargo, WFC. So T is this sort of like a reddish, it looks like, right? So it's not as bad, right? Then we have Wells Fargo. It's this like darker yellow. Darker yellow. Oh boy, it's somewhere over here, right? And Simon Property Group, SPG. SPG is the slightly lighter yellow, but they're ending in the same place, right? Uh, both delivering more than 1.3 billion in profits for shorts. And then we have Raytheon RTX, which has resulted in a $1.2 billion win. RTX is another blue version of the whole thing. So maybe they are the ones over here and Exxon is here, or I don't know. I can't tell. They look exactly the same color to me. So, wish they use like a pink or, I don't know, something else to indicate, make it glow. Anyways. So these are the five that have been performing well. So ExxonMobil, AT&T, Wells Fargo, Simon Property Group, and Raytheon. And those are the ones that folks have been shorting and shorting very successfully, meaning that they have been making quite a bit of money on those things over the past few months. Now, is it going to continue for those stocks? I got nothing. There's a good chance, but again, I got nothing. All right, right? And I'm not making recommendations. I don't make recommendations whether you should or shouldn't do it. Nothing I say on this show should be used as financial advice or legal advice, accounting advice, advice. It's just me sharing of my thoughts and what I find in the news. You gotta do your own due diligence of what makes sense. I'm just sharing with you what I'm seeing out there on the public. So, yeah, there are many people out there that are advocating shorting many things, shorting these markets, shorting real estate, shorting you know, S&P 500 and Nasdaq and all these different things. You know, so let's take a look at what is happening in the markets so that you can make your own decision. You don't have to rely on me or anybody else, and you shouldn't rely on me ever, like ever. I am an idiot. I make errors all the time, and so you know, I sometimes I'm really good at calling it. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes you know I and exit right at the top. Sometimes I don't. I miss it altogether. So don't go by me. I'm not a trader. I'm not a trader. I don't do advice. I am just doing an education of how to do these things if you're interested. That's it. That's it. That's what I am doing. I am trying to learn and learn alongside with you, share some wisdom that I have picked up along the way. Hopefully, it is wisdom. You know, tell you about the courses that we have at One Deal Away, which is, you know, teaching you how to do some of these things if you're interested in doing them, right? And you know, building companies and trying to do something fun with my life. You know, trying to do something productive that serves others. That's it. That's what my role here is. All right, as you can see, just about everything is down. Exception is Nasdaq is up 0.64%, and VIX, which is the volatility index, is up 9.84%. So typically, when we see VIX go up, we see markets go down. The stronger the VIX goes up, the stronger and the harder the market falls. So, something for you to pay attention to. We can see that the gold is down, oil is down. I'm going to presume silver is down. The bonds are unchanged. When we look at the stock indices, uh, NASD 100 is the only one that is up. Everything else is either down or unchanged. Commodities, everything is down except for natural gas, which is up 0.03%. So basically flat. Might as well call it flat at that pace. Treasuries, well, everything is unchanged on the percentage side. As you can see on the dollar side, there's like a very, very small minutia change for 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, and 30 year, and they're all in a negative. And when we come to currencies, we do have some positives over here. So USD index is up slightly, 0.6%. Let's see, USD and Canadian exchange is up, and then USD SEK is up, and CHF is up. But again, if the USD index goes up, right, of course, then the US dollar is going to be up as compared to the other currencies. However, as you can see, it's not necessarily always the case because USD, Japanese yen, we are down a little bit. So there you go. This is one of those things to pay attention to. Now, I did promise that we will continue going, and as we continue going, the news should be getting better and better and better. And I can't say better anymore for some reason. I realize that. Okay, so now we're switching over to the other side of the pond and looking at the crypto markets. Now, the news is pretty darn good, but is it excellent? No, it is not. As you can see, when we take a look into it and I scroll up and down, we do see some green. We see a lot of red here. So what is going on? Well, Bitcoin has actually gone up to 13,800 something. It started trading above that. We have since fallen to $13,404.91. Still 0.2% up for 24-hour period, 12.7% up over the course of 7 days, but down 1.4% in an hour. And a matter of fact, we were at 13.5 when we began the show, and I refreshed it, so we've dropped about 100 some dollars since the show began about 30 minutes ago. Ethereum has officially dropped below $400. It was holding so hard for that $400, but it definitely come down. Now in 24 hours, we did see Nexo up 8.7, Comp up 2.5, and then everything else is like 2 point whatever, flat market right there. On the negative side of things, we do see a bit more negative than the positive. RSR is down. That's the reserve rates, 13.9. Quant down 10.8, Ampliford 10.2, Kusama 9.5, Aave, I believe this is the new one, 9.4, Zem, XEM, NEM, 9.2. So as you can see, way more people, way more coins, way more projects are actually down, and much stronger, much harder in that regard. So that is one of the things that I think we do need to understand and talk about over here. When we take a look at the chart, as you know, I like looking at the charts. You see, we've kind of did this like little camel back thing going on. So this is what has happened over the past 24 hours. We've gone from 13,398, and it started to climb and was going up and up and up and up, and it was so exciting. And it hit the peak right around, looks like 10 o'clock last night at $13,843.60, and then it slowly started descending on down, taking the biggest dump here between 6:44 a.m. and right about now. It's not doing it. Come on, do it, do it, do it. Yes, and 7:30. So, oh, that's the biggest dump we've seen, and we are now at 13,400. But the good news is we're still holding over the $13,000, not 1,300, $13,000. And as I've been saying, typically we do see some of this stuff, right? We go sideways, we go up, we go sideways, we go up. When we go up, there's a potential we could actually go down, potentially go sideways before we keep on going up. So you can see that there's a very clear trend of what is happening. We did hit a little bit of a peak, coming back down. Is it going to come back down to the 12,913 level? Sure, anything is possible. Hey, is it going to go down to the 11 or $10,000 level? Sure, anything is possible. So this is definitely over here. We can see that right around 13,000, we do have a little bit of support right there. Now, if it breaks it, we do go back down to about 11.5 or so. That's a more likely than not case scenario. But it's also possible that it just goes slightly down, find a new sort of local bottom support, and then stays kind of flattish at about 13.4, 13.5, go sideways, 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 and then pump on up. So we will see how it all goes. But here are the exciting news that are coming up and what's going on. JP Morgan creates Onyx blockchain unit as JPM coin leverage for cross-border payments. Now, you may know, you may not know, this is the brand new thing that is coming up right now. So we're going to talk about it. Now, I have a lot of issues with JP Morgan Chase because they speak out of both ends of their mouth, so to speak, right? So they tell their customers not to invest in something while they're building it until they build it, and then they say. So what I'm saying is they're cheating and lying to their customers, the government, and everybody else. There, I said it. That's how I feel about it. Do I have proof? No, I don't. Is it potentially slander? Sure, I don't know. But I do have some proof of, when they were going out there and telling everybody, don't get into blockchain, don't get into blockchain, don't get into blockchain. But they are in the blockchain. Here, matter of fact, this is from August 7, 2018. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon calls Bitcoin a scam again. Again. Right? And he is basically saying that, so here we go. The top exec at the American investment bank, JP Morgan Chase, remains one of the Bitcoin bears. Last year, he publicly called the Big Daddy a fraud and then took his words back, saying that blockchain could make sense as it is real. It's real, Daddy. It's real. Just like Santa. But but this year, Diamond is standing by his previous not flattering towards Bitcoin words. He called BTC a scam again and emphasized he was not interested in it. He was not interested in it. And now he's building his own thing for cross-border payment because we don't have one of those, right? I mean, Bitcoin doesn't do that. Right? Ethereum doesn't do that. Other projects don't do that. No, Nev. No, they don't. Only JP Morgan can do it. So, of course, I'm being a bit sarcastic over here. But as you can see, he's building his own thing. JPM JPM coin, OMG. JPM coin is being used by a large technology client to send payments globally. No, it's not. No, it's not, but it is possible. I don't know. I don't know. Who is this giant tech client? Who is it? I would like to know. I would like to know. We're launching Onyx because we believe we're shifting to a period of commercialization of those technologies, moving from research and development to something that can become a real business. JP Morgan is focused on relieving pain points in the world of wholesale payments, specifically areas where the industry could save hundreds of millions of dollars with a better solution. Wait. That was exactly what the Bitcoin has been talking about. That is exactly why it was created. Yeah, it's actually going to be a store of value, and ETH is going to be that, but hey, whatever. So, anyways, the bank is continuously pushing into crypto blockchain space. They're saying that they're like, this it's so interesting. This article, I don't know who wrote it. Brian, Brian, buddy, can you do a little bit of a research? I don't know if JP Morgan is paying you, my man, but you got to do some research because JP Morgan has been beyond negative even in 2020. I actually did a post here on Money Matters. It's in the YouTube video. You can watch it. I want to say it was February, maybe March, that we did a video that I was talking about the JP Morgan and how it was telling its clients to do one thing while it was doing another thing, right? Yep, you can find it right then and there. So let's be honest about the whole thing, and let's be, like they've been continuously pushing into crypto, yes, secretly while lying to their clients. Anyways, I move on. Clearly, I have a lot of opinions about JP Morgan. In May, it accepted crypto exchanges Gemini and Coinbase as banking customers. Well, yeah, because it's gonna roll them into its own like diamond coin, JPM coin. It recently also disclosed that Bitcoin could have a good chance of increasing its price. And as a result, the investment bank believes that the digital currency could continue to surge as it competes with gold as an alternative currency. What? Wait. Did JP Morgan just admit two things? One, that Bitcoin actually has value. Two, that gold is a currency? Wait, what? Oh my gosh, he better not tell that to the folks that are really big into the gold because he'll get skinned alive. Gold is not a currency, my friend. It is money, as they will say. So interesting. So I don't know if JP Morgan said that or if Brian, because Brian, I'm not quite sure, right? So, anyways, as you can see, here it is article saying, no, it's not going in. But of course, he's been calling Bitcoin fraud, scam, all kinds of crazy stuff. And now, it's a good alternative to gold as money. Really? So, anyways, as you can see, I have all kinds of opinions about JP Morgan Chase, but we are here. I promised you that news are going to get better and better and better and better. So, JP Morgan Chase is jumping onto the blockchain train. I've been telling you that this is what's going to happen. Everybody's going to start piling on in. And my question is, are you going to be at the bottom of the pile or at the top of the pile? Because at the bottom of the pile, it means as they pile on, the price keeps on going up, you make more return. As you get onto the top, you basically get left with the bag when everybody exits out. So that's the news. That's the story. MicroStrategy's Bitcoin investment earns $103 million with ROI of 24.3% in the last 79 days. So as you know, MicroStrategy went out there, used the money on their balance sheet and reserves, and purchased Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin at the price of writing was at $13,800, and MicroStrategy basically earned 2.7 thousand per Bitcoin for a total of 103 million. And that's what the story is. Now, what they basically did is they purchased 250 million on August 11th, which they didn't purchase it right then. They'll be purchasing it over the time. But, they just kind of did the math component. Then they bought another additional 175 million, right? So they have total of 38,250 Bitcoin, not Bitcoins, Bitcoin. Ellie, I'm going to need you to pick it up, man. Fix it. It's one Bitcoin, 50 Bitcoin, 38,000 Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin. Nah. There's not. There's not. I know grammatically it's supposed to be, but there's no. With an aggregate purchase price of $425 million, averaging at about 11,000 per Bitcoin. Now, of course, this is the exciting piece because this is the part that whether Ellie did call it correct or not, did the math correct or not, quoted it correct or not, is irrelevant. What the relevant piece is right here. They bought. They bought, meaning they bought in past. They sit on it. They wait for it. And then they get 24% return on their investment in basically less than 3 months, in a quarter. In a quarter, they get 25% return on their money. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And you can do the same thing. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can do this. I keep trying every single time. God love me. Um, right? As a matter of fact, in March of this year, Bitcoin 1 or 500 was at about, let's say, $3,800. I don't remember the exact bottom, but let's say $3,800. Today, which is October, right? October, it was at $13,800, right? Slightly different. That means that means that between March and October, you gained $10,000, uh, just for holding it. Just for holding it. If you bought one itty bitty Bitcoin, then you would have earned $10,000 in, what is that? 5 months, right? April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Okay, 7 months. Clearly, my math is not quite right today. So that is insane. That is insane. Right? So up $10,000 per coin. Bitcoin related companies like Grayscale are expected to see significant gains these days as well. And please do understand that $1 billion was invested in their product family, and 84% of investments are from institutional investors dominated by hedge funds. So, hedge funds, as we talked about, are going to be the first ones and are the first ones jumping in. Then, after that, we're going to start seeing some of the other publicly traded companies and other institutional investors. And then, as more and more people start piling in, as the price starts going up, that's when we're going to see a big old insanity. Personally, I am actually happy that the price is kind of coming down. I wouldn't mind if it hit, 12,000 briefly, just briefly enough so that I can buy more. Hey, I wouldn't be opposed if it hit $2. I wouldn't be. If it hit $1, I wouldn't be opposed. Now, of course, we all say that right now because we know where it's going and what's happening. But I also want to point out that there's something incredibly psychological that happens to us when that happens. When, if we were to hit down to $1, you'd be like, son of a gun, sell, 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 sell. Right? So, question is, would you buy it? Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested. I mean, you say one thing, but saying and doing are very, very different things. So, I mean, I did buy at the 3,000, right? So, that's the exciting piece. I have harder time buying at 13,000 than I did at 3 or 7. So I don't know. There's something psychologically in my brain that also exists, but I also go and say, you know what? Just add on to it. Add on to it. It doesn't even matter the price. Just add on to it. All right. Now we do have additional information here. Bitcoin close to getting new highs for its monthly close, traded above $13,852 for the first time since January 2018. Now we have Peter Brand recently published a bullish Bitcoin tweet saying there's a possibility that Bitcoin could register its highest monthly closing price ever, a few days and a few $100s away. And of course, here is the Coinbase. Peter Brand kind of published this chart, and as you can see, here we are. This is 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 into the 2021, right? So this is 2021 over here, and what he's basically saying, he's using a slightly different chart, and he's basically showing his trading view right over here, that is basically saying, hey, you hit it right over here, and then boom, as long as it hits over here, to the moon, baby, to the moon. So crypto analyst Josh Rager, I don't know, Rager maybe, also tweeted in anticipation of Bitcoin's upcoming monthly close. By the way, Josh, my apologies for butchering your name. You can't look at the current monthly chart for Bitcoin without smiling. Open skies overhead for Bitcoin as it's near to break the all-time high for monthly close at $13,880. If I'm on the outside looking in, this chart is a positive sign with new monthly high potential. Of course, he gives us open sky for Bitcoin chart over here, and as you can see, this is much more recent chart of what is happening. So as you can see, here is kind of where we hit down, came down to the 3000s, kind of hit up, month retest support held. This is at, see, it doesn't give me, this is at $10,760 right over here, this line over here, y'all. And then, we kind of went back down, found the support. Now he's saying, all right, here, once we hit this, it goes up. But it's also possible that it's going to trade sideways, and it's also possible it could go down. So anything is possible. They're like, stop destroying my bullish dreams. I'm not. I'm just saying, be prepared for anything. A crypto trader recently highlighted a move towards surpassing the 14,000 in the near term is likely. OKX futures order book as being pulled, executed at market in last few days, says as Bitcoin consolidates. A move above 14,000 in near term is increasing and probability. Raoul Pal, my favorite macro analyst, Bitcoin is eating the world. It has become a supermassive hold that is sucking in everything around it and destroying it. This narrative is only going to grow over the next 18 months. Current gold investors are soon going to turn to Bitcoin as gold is breaking down versus Bitcoin, which is surging despite the Wall Street market sell-off seen today. Raoul Pal explained in a series of tweets that other assets, including precious metals, are now dead in the water. He said, quote, the supermassive black hole is going to suck in everything. Again, this is their best trade, investment, and future opportunity I have ever found, and it has the power to give the little guy a chance to grab their share of the wealth creation before Wall Street does grab it. As Bitcoin gains more dominance in the crypto market, Raoul Pal concluded that he does not see any point in holding any other asset. Now, if that is not bullish, I don't know what bullish is. Here is tweets, and of course, Twitter wants me to sign up and log in, and I'm not doing that. I'm not risking anything. I just want you to see it. So he's looking at the charts. He's looking at what's going on, and it's absolutely amazing. If you don't know about this man, if you're not following him, you should, because he's absolutely brilliant in explaining stuff, and it's so crazy because I find the same stuff, right? I believe the same stuff, but the way that I put it together and the way that he says it, I'm like, his stuff makes more sense. Just go with what he says. Just go with what the man says. I know it. I understand it. He has a gift of putting it out there super simply and nicely. And no, he's not paying me. No, the man doesn't even know me, okay? I don't even know him. I just like him because I like how he explains stuff. And I probably like him because I agree with him. So I will be honest. I will be honest. Why lie? So there you go. We are coming to the end of the show today. If you have enjoyed this, if you have liked this, if you have learned anything, smash the like button right now. Do subscribe, hit notifications, and I will see you tomorrow, but only if you do that. Until then, stay forever money blessed, and do remember, you are only one deal away.